Me neither.
Oh, I can cut a rug.
Can you cut a rug? Could you do disco dancing, Mike?
Wait, let me see. Oh no,
Mm.
All right.
that's not bad.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Yeah, welcome back to the show. It's episode 446. I do want to say welcome. Welcome back.
Going back to the show.
Due to a shortage in my pants, I'm wearing my boxers today.
We could have went the whole show without knowing that.
Due to a
I,
short
I I assume you just wear that's all you have on anyway during the show.
No, I usually have pants on. What do you think I'm weird?
Eh,
But
eh,
due to a shortage in my pants.
uh,
Yeah, you like it?
yeah.
I
You,
may I
did,
may I made that up while I was disco dancing. I said, you know what I'm gonna
did you workshop that one?
I did, but you know what, I am in my boxers, so that is the truth. Um guys, you know what I think about this weekend? We got this there's like I was telling Derby before we got on, there's about three games that are really, really good football games, and there's a bunch of football games. I think the one tonight between the Ravens and the Bengals is big. I think the one between the Steelers and the Browns are big. And then the one at the end of the weekend between Kansas City and Philadelphia. All the other games are like, you're looking at them, you're like,
Yeah.
it's going to be really easy pickings. I think that it's going to be easy picks this week. Um, it's going to come down to you guys to actually separate yourself, because, like I said, there's a lot of games where I think that I would think an obvious pick would be for most of these games, but we'll see. You know, with you two, you never know what it'll be.
Hey, I am. My picks are going to be amazing.
I do know this. Now the Browns, they lost their starting quarterback. They lost Deshaun Watson, which I think is hilarious. Say what you will.
Just when he was starting to play well.
I know we caught heat.
230 million reasons not to be a Browns fan.
Well, that's true. But I know we caught heat earlier in the season from somebody. I don't even remember who it was, but when we said we were glad that Joe Burrow was out, remember somebody gave us shit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they were like, you said you're happy that somebody's hurt, bro. Yes, I am. Listen,
Yeah, because it
I
helps my team.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That is all I know this person for. That's all I care about this person for, is the fact that they play quarterback on a team that my football team plays.
Yeah.
I'm 100% thrilled that he's injured. Along with when he left practice in a boot, or he left something in a boot. The next day they said he said he comes out, he goes, I'm going to play against the Steelers, and then the next day literally came
Mm-hmm.
out and said that he has a broken bone in his shoulder that's going to require surgery, and he's going to be out the rest of the season. Along with their starting running back Nick Chubb, who got knocked out in the game against the Steelers last time around, their left tackle, their right tackle. You know what this spells to me, guys? This is going to be probably a 9-6 football game, because the way that, I mean, you got Dorian Thompson
Yeah.
Robinson. He's going to be starting for the Brownies, and just all these guys that they're missing. That's huge. I think that they would have trouble. They would have trouble scoring anyway, just the way that these two teams are, the division. But now that they're having all these issues with quarterback, running back, line, it's going to allow them to do even less. But you know what? I think that's going to make their defense better. They're going to strive on that,
Oh yeah.
and it's gonna make an even tighter ball game. And it could possibly be, like I said, a 9-6 football game. And I think that they could still win just because of the style of game. And they're
Mm-hmm.
right there with us as far as this type of play. But I think if they win this game, that's going to be it for a while for them. They might win it because it's an emotion game. They might win it because it's interdivision. They
Yep.
may win it for some reason or other because, one of these things. But I think ultimately the Browns are done after this. They lost everything. Come on, you lose your quarterback, your running back, most of your line. And this is just what I know. I mean, I don't know what the other injuries are in this team.
Yeah. I'm just pulling it up now. Like, Deshaun Watson, Greg Newsom, really good corner, damn good cornerback.
These people are out as
He's
well.
he's questionable. Defensive linemen are questionable. Yeah, tackles are questionable. Guards questionable. Yeah, it is bad. It is bad, bad, bad.
These are the
Denzel Ward questionable. Their top two corners are questionable. You know, they'll probably be good enough to play, but they're banged up worse than the Steelers are right now.
So that's what I'm saying. And like I said, I mean, many fans would think that this is a runaway. This is a reason for us to blow this team out, but I
No,
don't think that's the
No,
case.
I don't either. Their tackles might be out, but there's still that interior line is still damn good. They can still run the ball. We give up a lot of yardage. Remember that. The Steelers defense were what 31st, 32nd in total yardage. So we don't give up a lot of points, but we give up a lot of yards, and that bend don't break defense. Someday that dam's going to break. It could be this game where
Yeah.
we're going to let this them just run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, and then one little dink and dunk pass turns into a quick little touchdown, and that's just my worry in this game. But yeah, but like Ryan's saying though too, man, like two really damn good defenses. Score like Browns yardage and scoring wise, Pittsburgh scoring wise, we have two of the best defenses in the league going against each other. So it wouldn't surprise me if it is like a really low scoring game, and especially with the quarterback play coming in this. You don't know what Kenny you're going to get right now. If he's still battling through injury or whatnot. So, like, are we going to get Kenny we saw that who was starting to heat up a little bit, or are we going to get the Kenny we saw the past 2 weeks? This rookie, is he going to be the one when he came in that first Baltimore game through 3 picks? Or is he going to be like a rookie who kind of surprises us, like the way CJ Stroud surprised us? Not that this kid's anywhere near CJ Stroud, but it's happened where backup quarterbacks could bite the Steelers in the ass.
Absolutely, Mike. And
not to go off on a rant. I'm sorry. I'm
fired
up about this.
I needed that. I was doing something here, so that worked out.
It's gonna. I'm still worried about this Browns team, and I think you'd be crazy not to.
Absolutely,
because it's the NFL, it's pro sports, anything can happen, and like Ryan likes to say, and we like to say on the show, it's division games, man. And even Tomlin pointed it out.
Yeah.
Like we know them, they know us. Anytime you play the Ravens, the Browns, Bengals, you all know each other inside and out. So
yeah, I tell you what,
it'll be a tight one.
And there's so many things that point to, where people, Steeler fans might say, you know what, we got this. They don't have a quarterback. They don't have their line. They don't have a running back. But you know what? Like I said, this is the kind of game that we would lose. Just historically, I could see us losing this. The last 2 games we played against Deshaun Watson, we won. However, the game before that, we played them the beginning of last season. We lost. That was a game that Deshaun Watson didn't start. So, I mean, in these division games, sometimes I think you're better off playing the starter, as in Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, where we tend to beat him, and we lost to Tyler Huntley.
Yeah.
In this situation here, so I'm definitely the furthest one right now that's saying that the Steelers are going to run away with this. I don't think they're going to run away with this.
No.
I think if they could win a 10-6 game, 13-10, something along this line, I think that's where it's going to be. Unless the Steelers, as Mike said, comes out and just kind of plays out of their mind, maybe a nice out of the nowhere pick six by Joey Porter Jr. Something like this to create a little bit of separation. Who knows? That might be the play that wins the game. That might be the play that makes it 10-6 or 13-10, whatever. But this game here, I think, is one of the harder ones to predict on the season. As the weeks go on, I do generally have an idea who I like, but I'm really, really up in the air with this game. I'm going to say the Steelers because I want the Steelers, and that's generally I'm a homer in that situation. But the overall, I do not have a clear thought of who I think is going to win this football game.
Yeah, me either. It is a little. I don't know, man, because you think, okay, we're there without Deshaun Watson, and these past handful of games, he's been rounding into form to me, a really good quarterback. He's getting his groove back. But now, they still do have an effective running game. They still have a damn good defense, and but their coach, I can see him going, oh, they think we're going to run, so guess what? We're going to pass. We're going to throw this young guy out to the wolves. We saw it when Baker Mayfield, was playing in the sling. They abandoned the run and the play action that got them so well that year to where they were, and then it's made him throw more and more. This guy tends to outthink himself. Oh, we know that they know that we know that we know that they know they're going to do this, so we're going to do this.
Yeah, he thinks. Don't.
So
think.
he can like talk themselves into losing this game just by making stupid decisions. But if he plays it smart, I think this can be a tighter game than on paper it should be.
I think that the Pittsburgh coaching staff got to get this Steeler team to be prepared to play a championship game. I think this is going to be a heart game. This is going to be a game that comes down to the wire. This is going to be a game that comes down to crunch time. It's going to be a game that comes down to just who was tougher. There's just so much stuff that's going into this
This is
game, guys.
Hey, one score games, man. In the past, what
Yeah.
Tomlin's record in one score games is like one of the best, in league history. And my God, the string we're on now,
What they
it's
say the other day
insane
when
in
we were
these one
watching the
score
game, it
games.
was like 94 of his wins or one score wins or something.
Yeah, he's like 94 and 50 in one score games. It's insane. And then it's like the past season and a half in one score games. We're damn good team. So it's not going to be a cakewalk, man.
Let me blow some smoke up some of our guys' asses. James Daniels, the last two games in pass protection, he had 56 pass blocking snaps. James Daniels allowed zero pressures and one pressure. I'm sorry, one pressure and zero sacks. Zero sacks
Yeah.
and one pressure allowed. You got to like that from James
Yep.
Daniels.
That's where he's picking up where he left off the second half of last year.
Yeah. I thought you mentioned this is going to be this team is where it is. This is as good as it's going to get.
Yeah.
I can't imagine this team's going to come out and be anything different than it was the second half of last year. We're all the way up to the point this year. This is the team that you have. You have a slightly good team here that appears to be lucky, but I refuse to believe any team that has this record.
Yeah, it's luck.
It's not luck. I mean, it's some situations it's where the ball bounces, things like that, and I could agree with that. But you know what? At this point, it's not luck. This team is slightly good. This team is good enough to sneak into the playoffs. This team, in my opinion, is good to maybe rob somebody in the first round of the playoffs, which I'm going to give you guys. I'm going to give you the playoffs as if it started today. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But on the other side of the ball, I do want to say Alex Highsmith. Alex Highsmith, blow a little smoke up his ass. 19 sacks since the start of the 2022 season, which is ninth amongst all defenders in the NFL. Mike, 19 sacks. You can say he's looked pretty productive. Where do you put him next to Bud Dupree? Because we often said once he was leaving and whoever we got in that spot and it being being Highsmith, we said they're going to have the same kind of results as Dupree because of what's going on the other side. Blah blah blah. Where do you stack these two together now that you get to look back about a season and a half in with Highsmith, thinking back what you know about Mr. Dupree? Comparable. Where do you see these two guys with each other?
I think in terms of pass rushing, I put him just behind Bud Dupree. Because we saw when Bud finally got it on that last year and a half when him and TJ Watt were going, and they were really raising terror together. Like if one was off that game, the other one was picking it up. It was like reminded you of Quiver and Quake, with Greg Lloyd and Kevin Green. I think Highsmith's better all around as a better run defender and a better go out in zone coverage. But in terms of pass rushing, overall, I think Bud Dupree, his last season and a half was just it was better than Highsmith. Highsmith, he'll get the pressures, but I think Bud was just more consistent that last year and a half. I like the way Highsmith is progressing. I'd like to see him have more sacks this year, more consistent pressure. But overall in his game, it's hard to. I'm not disappointed in him. I've liked him. I always thought he was that guy. When we first saw him against that first game in the Ravens, I thought he was going to be a pretty solid player. You see where his career is progressing too. But I think Bud was just the more natural pass rusher.
Let me ask you this then: if in fact after this season it won't because of contracts, but let's just say Alex Highsmith went to the Tennessee Titans. Do you think that Alex Highsmith's season next year would be better, the same as, or less than we saw from Bud Dupree when he left and went to the Tennessee Titans?
Can you repeat that again?
Same.
So I just want to make sure I heard it.
Yeah. If Highsmith went to the Tennessee Titans next year as Bud Dupree did when he left here, would his performance, do you think, moving forward, be the same as, better than, or worse than Bud Dupree when he went down there?
Better. Bud got hurt. He got hurt right off the bat.
Yeah,
right off the rip, and that kind of set him back. And like I said, I think he does. I think he's a better run defender and better in coverage than than Bud was. Not that Bud was terrible at those. I think just Highsmith's just better at those.
You know, one thing I like about Highsmith too, in a season where everybody's dropping like flies, he stayed healthy. You know, nobody. You got
Yeah.
we're losing a grip of guys this
Yeah.
season, and it's all season ending or very very long injuries. Bud Dupree is one guy that, or I'm sorry, Highsmith is one guy that you don't see on the ground after a play. He's active, he's productive, he moves around, and he still is able to stay healthy. I like that about Bud. There's just some guys that get hurt. There's just some guys that don't. I'm not saying that Highsmith is never going to get hurt. That's not going to be the case more than likely. But I do like the fact that he is a player that you could count on to be there week in week out.
Yeah, and the best of the best ability is availability. He's always there.
Yeah,
And that's the key to continued success, in the NFL and every sport, just to being able to go out there every game. And even he brings it every game. He brings the effort every game, even if the stats aren't there. You can see he's trying everything to get to the quarterback. So yeah, I
absolutely.
always liked him. I think we overpaid for his contract. I think it's a bit high for what we're getting out of him, but you know,
He's
sometimes you got to overpay.
I
he's
tried to warn
solid,
you.
and here's the thing: if you lose him or he goes down, and you got to try to find somebody to replace Alex Highsmith. I think he sets kind of a high bar in a sense. As I mean, you're going to want a guy that's going to be as available as Highsmith. You're going to want a guy that
Yeah,
does put pressure on as Highsmith does. So I think it would be tough to find a guy to replace him. I'm not saying he's one of the best, but if you were to put a position to have to replace Alex Highsmith, I think that it could be difficult. And I think that anybody that you get for a while would be a bit of a disappointment because he has worked his ass to get off, worked his ass off to get where he is. He fits in this defense well. So again, if he went down, I think that we would be disappointed here in Pittsburgh.
yeah, yeah. You don't know what you have until it's gone, and I think he's solid out there. I like the guys we have behind him, but like you said, they're not at that level.
I just really want to comment on one thing the Steeler Freak has here. Good morning, Steeler Freak. Type in Google the most lucky teams using analytics. Steelers are second only to the Eagles. The Eagles get a lot of referee help. I noticed this. Uh, luck and turnovers have this team at 6-3. Both could run out at any time. I agree with you in a sense, and I also agree there's a little bit a slight good football team in there as well. One number that I do have, one note that I do have here: three teams this season have a minus 26 scoring margin, minus 26 exactly. The Rams, the Titans, the Steelers. The Rams are 3-6. The Titans are 3-6. The Steelers are 6-3. So maybe we do have a little luck. I don't know, but we
Yeah,
are, like I said, we're slightly good too.
we have, yeah, we have some luck in there, some good in there. It's just almost a hodgepodge of something, not a
Yeah, it's a
nothing.
hodgepodge of
We have,
somethingness.
like, if you look at, hey, wide receivers, we have two guys that could be like number ones, number twos on a lot of teams. Tight end, we have good potential there. Offensive line, just a couple guys here and there are good. Two, a running back tandem. Two, we don't have number ones. We got two number twos there. Look on the defense, we have two great outside linebackers, looking like we're having a damn good corner, damn good safety, and then a couple pieces sprinkled in. There's a semblance of a really good football team here. But
I
I think
agree.
but to overcome that, they need the luck factor. So
Let me
it's
ask you
going
this,
hand in hand.
Mike. Would you at this point would you swap out Kenny for Sam Howell?
Ooh,
Now, before you say that, let me tell you this little nugget of information. Sam Howell is the only quarterback in NFL history with over 2,900 yards passing, over 200 yards rushing, and a 65% completion percentage in their first 11 career games.
yeah.
With that being said, Mike, would you swap out Kenny for Sam Howell?
Uh yeah,
Those are amazing numbers. Could you
they
imagine
are
Sam Howell was somewhere good? I mean, somewhere that had a chance or a team around him, and um, geez, oh man.
yeah, yeah. I take Sam Howell.
And you'd have to think if Kenny played in Washington, he would struggle because he's struggling here with a good line. Can you imagine him in Washington?
I don't. I think he would maybe just. I don't know. They got Eric Bieniemy down there calling plays, but Sam Howell, he came in. I played one or two games last year, and he looked good. That was even without Eric Bieniemy calling the offense. He was
That's what I'm
Kansas City's
saying.
offensive coordinator. They do have
As long as you're
weapons
wearing
down
the
there.
Washington uniform, you're not in a good place. I don't
Yeah.
care. It's been a
Yeah, they
long
like
time.
yeah. I think like they have like Terry McLaurin, damn good receiver. If he was elsewhere, his numbers would skyrocket. Same thing with Jahan Dotson, a running back Brian Robinson Jr. He's good. If they were elsewhere, they'd be good. They have they're like the Steelers. They have some good players
Right.
there. But
Derpy,
I would take Sam Howell.
Yeah.
let me ask you the same question. Sam Howell, the only quarterback in NFL history with over 2,900 yards passing, over 200 yards rushing, and a 65% completion rating in their first 11 games played as a on Washington. Would you swap out? And you know, I mean, nobody's going to jump on you and say that you hate Kenny, but you know, realistically, if you're trying to make this football team better, would you personally swap out Kenny for Sam Howell?
You mean like on Washington?
Yeah.
Okay. No.
You wouldn't? You'd keep Kenny?
I mean, if I'm the Steelers, yes, but Washington, I would take Kenny, but
I mean, if you're a Steeler,
Steelers, yes,
let me say you're the
yes, I would
Steelers
go.
GM, GM Derpy. Would you be cool with trading off Kenny Pickett for Sam Howell?
No,
Okay.
I like Kenny.
All right. That's fair.
He's the guy.
All right. With that being said, let me talk about a couple other things here real quick. We do also have this is the top 10 ratings that's given. This is the top 10 this week in the NFL. These are your top 10 teams according to this particular poll. Guys, number 1 is Philadelphia. I think we'd all agree there. They only have one loss. San Francisco comes in 2. Kansas City comes in 3. Detroit 4. Baltimore 5. Miami 6. Jacksonville 7. Dallas 8. Cleveland 9. And Seattle 10. That would be your power poll in the NFL. Now, let me tell you the top 10 teams by record. Philadelphia 1. Kansas City 2. Detroit 3, Baltimore 4, San Fran 5, Jacksonville 6, Miami, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, if you that's I think it's 8. It's top 8. Pittsburgh by record is in the top 8. The poll put out this week, we're not even in the top 10. Cleveland is. So, you know, as far as public opinion on football, I think that this game is going to go a long way this week. You know, whether the Browns start their off season this weekend or a little bit later, or if, as I said, you know, maybe the Browns beat the Steelers, which I'm not totally ruling out. I'm totally convinced that this game could go either way at this point. And I think the injuries make it even more so. As I said before, the Steelers beat Deshaun Watson the last 2 times they played him. And then the time before that with the backup, we lose. Last year with Baltimore, we beat we beat Lamar all the time. We lose to Huntley.
Yeah.
These kind of games and these kind of situations often make us a bit of an underdog for whatever reason, guys. But this game is huge for it's going to set the tone for this division for the rest of the season.
It is. And like if the Steelers win, and even if I heard you guys talking pre-show, like if Baltimore, you kind of rooting for Cincinnati, so Baltimore gets the loss. But if Baltimore even wins this game, that potentially takes Cincinnati out of the mix. It drops them to 1-3, 1-4 in the division. That's huge right there. So, yeah, like you're saying, this game has huge potential.
Absolutely,
or huge ramifications for not only division standings but playoff standings as well. This is a huge because right now, all 3 teams are still in the playoffs if they started today. So this is a must-win game. This is a very, very important game.
Oh, absolutely, Mike. Yeah, and as well as the other game, the game that's being played tonight on Thursday Night Football, as you started to mention, the Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. It all starts tonight. If you're interested in what's going on in this AFC North, it all starts tonight. I just can't, in a weird kind of thing is that Ravens, they still that one game played more than everybody else. That's kind of screwing everything up as far as keeping track and if whose record's really better and who's. So I kind of can't wait till they get to that bye. But you know what, Mike, you're right. Since a loss to Cincinnati could, pretty much take them out of the hunt. What would you want more? Because Cincinnati could potentially be a threat down the road if they win this game. stay in the hunt, stay within a game of everybody else. Who's to say that ain't going to be the team that heats up in the last 5, 6 games of the year and ends up taking the division. There's a lot that's riding on the AFC North this weekend, guys. We'll get more to that in just a few. Go ahead, Mike.
I was just gonna say I'd rather see Cincinnati lose this one more team out of the race.
Okay.
Me personally, I can just narrow it down as fast as we can, because pretty soon it's just going to be a 2-team race. It's going to be Pittsburgh, Baltimore. I want to get to that as soon as possible,
which it always ends up becoming anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
All the hoopla, all the
Bengals,
Deshaun Watsons, all the Odell Beckhams, all the everything. It always ends out coming down to the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens, because that's whose division
that's
it is.
That's how it is. Yeah.
You got to give these other guys. You got to give these other guys credit though, because they do hang in there. They do fight these fights with us, and they hang in there. So
Cincinnati's on a little run where they're making it competitive. I just wonder how they would be if Burrows was healthy to start the season.
Yeah.
Where they would be.
It would be better. They would be better.
Oh yeah, but hey, I'll take it, man. I'll take it.
Yeah. The playoffs started today. It would look like this. In the AFC, the Kansas City Chiefs would have a bye. The Texans would be playing the Ravens. Think about that. That would be a good one.
That would be a damn good one.
The Browns would be playing Jacksonville.
That would be a tight one.
And one that probably wouldn't be as good, but we would love just as much anyway, as the Steelers versus Miami. But it might be
Miami hasn't beaten a team with a winning record.
Right. So what does that tell us? Playoffs started today. KC would get the bye. Texans versus the Ravens. Browns versus Jacksonville. Steelers versus Miami. Over on the NFC side, the Philadelphia Eagles, of course, would have the bye. The Vikings versus Detroit. Little NFC North, NFC North action. Dallas versus San Francisco.
That would be a
rematch that Dallas would love to have.
Oh, that would be a good one.
And finally, Seattle and New Orleans. These teams would eventually get weeded out as the rounds went. But you know what? For what it is, it'd be a good game.
The NFC South. What a joke. What a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we be in the NFC South?
I know. Didn't their division winner get in with a sub 500 record or something?
Yeah, we swept them last year. We would have made the playoffs.
Yeah, we did. We beat every team in that division last year.
Yeah. It's the only time we look good.
Patrick Mahomes confirms that he's worn the same pair of underwear to every single game of his NFL career. Mahomes says, sometimes I wash them. Mahomes. This is why he got stuck with that maniac bitch. You know what I mean?
Pat, you gotta watch some draws.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's not healthy. You been in the league for how long?
Every Super Bowl he's been in, he says he's worn those same underwear.
Yeah.
That's why he got the old funky chick. He should have a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong, his girl's hot, but she's weird. She seems like she would be.
He's weird too. We're finding out.
She seems like would be a dude, or she seems like she would be with a dude who doesn't wash his underwear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't expect Patrick Mahomes to be that guy.
Steeler freak says they're his wives. Hey, with that much money, fuck you. He can wear whatever he wants.
Yeah. Let's move on a little bit, guys. We do got to jump into some picks for the day. So let's.
I totally forgot to prepare for picks.
Well, that's good. It goes better this way.
Oh.
We're gonna jump over to hockey real quick, Mike, to the ice. The Penguins beat the Blue Jackets the other night on Tuesday. They win 5-3. That's 5 straight wins for this Pittsburgh Penguins team.
I've written them off, and then look at them.
See, that's how crazy it is, because they're
heating up, man.
They're heating up. They are at 8-6 right now, Mike. In the last game, of course, Crosby has the 4-point night and a hat trick. He's now got 10 goals on the season. The 36-year-old center for the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Penguins host New Jersey today at 7:00. And they also play Carolina. They're busy too. The next 3 days, they have Carolina on Saturday at Carolina.
Look, Crosby, 19 points. Gensel, 18. Malkin, 17. Carlson, 15. Rust, 13. Riley Smith came over in free agency, 12. The stars and the top supporting cast are doing what they needed. Letang, 8 points. Lars Eller, 7 points, another key free agent acquisition. Like they're doing what they need to do. It's looking like the core's doing what they need, or the core's definitely doing what they need to do. Supporting cast is starting to chip in. The only one I'm worried about is Raquel. He hasn't had a goal in forever. He only has 4 points on the year.
So maybe he's due. Maybe
I think
maybe
like
he'll
once he starts
bury
heating up,
one
because
tonight in a
he plays
key
well with all
situation.
those guys. So yeah, and Jari's played well. Everyone's played well. This team, I think they figured it out. They figured out, they tweaked the system from what I've been reading. Don't ask me to decipher because I can understand it, but I can't regurgitate it. They tweaking the forecheck a little bit, and like everyone was saying, uh, over half the game you have Carlson and Letang on the ice. It is nuts. These guys are putting in like 24 to 28 minutes a night. They're nuts.
Yeah. I mean, you knew that it had to get better when you bring in a
Yeah.
Carlson and
Yeah, Crosby and Malkin are on pace for 100-point seasons at their age. That is nuts. Nuts.
yeah, that
It's
guy
just
that
if
got
they can stay healthy. When those guys stay
Yeah.
healthy, it's whew. Crosby hasn't had a fluke injury in forever where someone's tried to take his head off. Same thing with Malkin. No one's tried to hurt him. So
Mike,
they're looking good.
address Steeler Freak's last
Oh,
question.
I clicked over.
He says, I don't watch hockey anymore, but what is your take on
Oh
the
yeah,
guy
that
who hit the other player in the throat with his skate, which
yeah, he
caused him
got
to die? Mike, what do you
it was a weird collision. Guys falling forward, leg kicks up. Like, did he add the extra kick? Did just the momentum of going caused the kick? Did he do it on purpose? Was it an exaggerated kick, or just a weird body mechanic that caused him to kick that way? It's nuts. It's happened over in England. He's being, I don't know if he was arrested on manslaughter charges or
he was?
yeah.
He was
So
arrested on manslaughter charges. He is out on bail already.
yeah,
It's just an
I think in
unfortunate
their legal
situation.
system, like for them to question him, he has to be arrested. And that's why they did. That's one thing I read. It was, to me, it looked like a freak accident.
I'm sure he didn't mean to kill the guy, for crying out loud,
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's unfortunate.
yeah.
I,
It's
I, I
like
yeah.
it's sad, it's tragic, and I don't know. I don't know.
I think when somebody dies
I'd
in
hate to be that
sports,
guy. I'd
you
hate to
would,
be that guy.
in anything, the guy that hit Demore or the guy that, in sports, you really have to look at these things, and
Yeah,
especially maybe like boxing. I mean,
boxing guys have
you're
killed each other.
literally
Yeah,
throwing fatal blows to somebody's
yeah.
head over and over and over and over in a
Mhm.
situation out on the street could be a fatal blow at any given, any given hit.
Yeah. And like
So
boxers have killed guys, and
that's
like
what I'm
some of
saying.
them
I
they've
hate
retired from it because they can't deal with it.
when someone gets killed in a sport. It's so hard
Yeah,
for me to say that I believe they should be arrested. I just
yeah,
it has to be,
yeah,
as Steeler Freak said, it had to prove intent. I
yeah.
don't know.
Because you watch the video, it's like you see the leg go up extra at the end, but did he do it on purpose? Did it was just a reaction from
And
the
the
way
weight
he
of a
was
skate. I mean,
falling?
you've worn a
Yeah, he's
skate before. You know
falling.
that
The leg kicks up. Is he
your
trying to
foot's
flip
heavy
himself? Yeah,
when you have that
it's
skate on, and
yeah.
the momentum. It's
Yeah, the guy was about to fall on his own head. Is he trying to kick his leg to flip himself so it doesn't land on his head?
right.
It was weird. It was tragic.
If I'm getting ready to land on my head, the last thing I'm worried about is when my skate. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
that's why I turn to you. I'm undecided on this.
So am I. It's like I don't think he meant to do it, but you never know. You never know what's going on, and it happens so fast. That's the thing. It was a boom, boom, bang, bang situation. It's you know
A skeet to skeet to bang a bang.
nice segue.
Tom Barrasso is inducted into the Hall of Fame. Mike,
Yes,
you
well
have
deserved.
Yager getting his number retired in Pittsburgh.
Yes,
Barrasso
huge,
to the Hall of
huge.
Fame. Guys, these guys from the early 90s are finally getting their due recognition, I guess, if you will,
Yes.
because I've always argued Barrasso has been one of the better goalies.
Yeah,
And for Yager to come home to Pittsburgh to have his number retired, and that's pretty big for Pittsburgh.
that's huge. And like you can't look at like the goalie numbers from Barrasso's era to today's era. It's a totally different game.
Yeah.
Look at the goalie equipment. It's so much more narrower back in the day. The game, there was no defense played in that era.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, he's well deserved to be in the Hall of Fame.
Finally, Mike, over in college football tonight. Pitt Panthers with a 2-8. They bring their 2-8 record to play Boston College, who, as bad as they are, Mike, Boston College sits there with the 6-4 record coming into this game tonight at 7 p.m. And thank goodness after this, there's only one more Pitt game left next week against Dookie. So
The big story is Dino Tomlin. Mike Tomlin's son's
yeah,
playing at Heinz Field. Well, watch him get the game-winning touchdown.
I know. Wouldn't
That
that
would
be
be
something?
sweet.
Yeah,
I think that would be
yeah, he's a
cool.
wide
That
receiver.
would be
Yeah,
sweet.
I would love it.
At this point, I would be cool with that. Mike, all right, Derpy, we got to get over to the picks, guys. Take one moment to clear your mind while I get to where I need to be,
Oh God, I
and then we will get this rolling.
clear my mind. The monkey in my head playing the cymbals, clang, clang, clang.
Derpy has an opportunity now to go 2 straight weeks, go for 2 wins in a row, which I think he's going to do.
That's messed up, man.
Mike's trying to get back on track.
I'm trying to get back on track.
All right, here we go, guys. Game 1 of the week tonight. Tonight is the Thursday night football game between the Bengals and the Ravens. This game is at Baltimore, Mike. I'm going to start. Derpy, do you want the ball first or do you want to kick it to Mike?
Kick it to Mike.
All right, Mike, we're going to start with you on this. Tonight's game, Bengals at Ravens. Who do you think?
Give me the Bengals. No, wait. Check that. Give me the Ravens. They're gonna
All
put the Bengals out of their misery.
All right, they're going to put the kibosh on them. Derpy, over to you. Bengals at Ravens.
Right off the back, Bengals.
All right. Derpy keeps it interesting. We're going to go past the Steelers and Browns because we hit that game last. But the next game on the list, as I said, guys, a lot of these are kind of no-brainers, but you got to think of the upset this week, guys. Next game on the list is the Las Vegas Raiders. They make the trek over to South Florida to play the Miami Dolphins. Guys, this Raiders team, I don't think they have a winning record. And you know what the Miami Dolphins say about that. Mike, Raiders at Dolphins.
Let me check the Raiders schedule or standings. They're 5-5. Yeah. Give me the Dolphins.
Interesting.
Yeah, I had to look at
They're
record.
not under or above 500.
Yeah. So this is a toss up.
We're gonna learn a lot about the Dolphins this week. Derpy, over to you. Raiders at the Dolphins.
Dolphins.
All right. Derpy, I'm gonna start with you in this round. The Bears at the Lions. Interdivision game. Lions, they're looking damn good. The Bears just trying to keep the season respectable. You think I would think they are, but I don't know. Bears at Lions, Derpy.
The Lions.
Mike, Lions, Tigers, or Bears? Oh my.
Let's go with the Bears in an upset.
All right. Gutsy. Interesting. You know what's going to happen on Sunday? I'm going to be talking to Mike. I'm like, Mike, you were down 1 game going into the Monday night game. And he's going to go, I know that fucking Bears game. I should have picked the Bears. That's the conversation that's going to happen. I'm telling you right now. Next game on the list, Mike, this ball is coming over to you. Titans at the Jaguars. Little AFC South interdivision play. Jacksonville takes the huge loss to San Francisco last week. Tennessee Titans at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right. Derpy, over to you. Same question. Tennessee Titans, Jacksonville Jaguars in Florida.
Give me the Jags.
Okay. I'd be really surprised if they lost this game. Just because they
bounce
just
back.
they took that huge L and then lost this game. That would look good for the AFC standings for the Steelers, things like that, because that team is tied with us. And as I said, barring a couple things happening this weekend, guys, the Steelers could be in good shape. But on the other hand,
really good shape.
The Browns could also be in really good shape too.
Yeah,
if they would beat us, and then Kansas City would lose. The Browns would then have the same record as the Kansas City Chiefs, who is sitting at the 1 spot. Again, tiebreakers, that. I don't know what it would come down to. But Yes, it could be really good. This game is huge. People don't understand how big this game really is. On to the next, guys. This one's going to come over to you, Derpy. Derpy, the Chargers at the Packers. The Chargers at the Packers. Who do you like in this game?
Give me the Packers.
All right, fair enough. Derpy likes the Packers in this game.
Derpy.
And Mike, the Chargers at the Packers.
I'm gonna take the Pack. They look pretty. They played really well against Pittsburgh, but some stupid coaching decisions. And you have two bad coaches, Matt LaFleur and Brandon Staley, who are just ruining both franchises. So
I like the Chargers in this one, but I see where you guys are coming from.
I like the way they played against
It's
Pittsburgh.
at Lambeau in November.
Yeah, it's true. That's very true.
Yeah, going in sunny team, going in cold.
Derpy, the Cardinals at the Texans. CJ Stroud. Who do you like?
Give me the true Heisman and CJ Stroud in the Texans.
I think it'd be very hard to take Arizona in this game. Mike,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not like Cardinals at Texans.
Yeah, give me the Texans, man. Even though the Cardinals, pulled it out, Kyler Murray looked pretty good, but I'm going with the Texans.
Next game on the list, Mike. We're going to start with you on this one. The Cowboys at the Panthers. Your other top quarterback in the draft this year is going to be going up against this Dallas Cowboy team that feels they have something to prove at this point. And, early on they were one of the more dominant teams, and then they took a little bit of a hit. They fell. Cowboys at Panthers, Mike.
How about them boys?
Yeah,
I have, it'd be stupid not to take them.
Right. Derpy, them boys or the Panthers? Bryce Young.
Them boys.
All right. I think Derby's going to go against Carolina Panthers over the next 15 years, no matter what, anyway, or wherever Bryce Young is. Derp, we're going to start with you on this one. This should be a classic. An NFC East showdown between the Giants at the Commanders. The Giants may literally be the worst team I've seen in a long, long time. The Commanders got Sam Howell. Derpy, who do you like? Giants
Give me
Commanders.
The Commanders.
Mike, I'm going to come over to you the same way. I know that there's a tiny little space in your heart that you have for this Giants team. You think that that's enough for them to beat Washington this weekend?
Oh, hell no. No, even though Washington, traded away two of their better defensive players, I'm still going to take the Commanders.
I would take the Giants in this game. I'm going to tell you why. Because it's a division game. I don't think the Giants are going to lose out. They're very, very bad. But what better team for the Giants to beat than this Washington team in their divisions they know? If I was picking, I would take the Giants. But you know what? I'm glad that I'm not, and I'm glad I don't have any money on that. Let's go into the next game, fellas. The Buccaneers at the 49ers. The Buccaneers at the 49ers. Mike, I'm going to start with you on this one. This game's in San Francisco. Who do you like, the Buccaneers or the 49ers?
I'm taking the 49ers. I think that addition of Chase Young is going to help Bosa round back into form. Offense is looking like they're getting their rhythm back. So, yeah, I'm taking the 49ers, although I do expect Baker Mayfield to ball out just as a big FU to Cleveland.
Derpy, a big FU to Cleveland for you too? Buccaneers at 49ers. Who do you like in this game? All right.
49ers.
All right. Michael.
And Mayfield's going to ball out.
All right. Mike, Battle of New York. Not city, but state. The Jets, they're taking a trek to the other side of the state to play the Buffalo Bills. Both teams struggling. Both teams struggling pretty bad.
Oh, yeah.
Who do you like in this game, Mike?
I'm taking Buffalo.
West Side.
They just fired their offensive coordinator, so they gotta prove something on that side of the ball. So why not take it out against the Jets?
Derpy, Jets at Buffalo.
Give me Buffalo. They'll bounce back after the Broncos game.
All right. A lot of people don't realize the Broncos, they've won 3 straight.
Yeah.
And their record since, I think they won 4 of 6 since the 70-point blowout with Miami that 1 week. So yeah, you can't systematically just roll out Denver. Just something to keep in mind moving forward. Next game on the list. Let's send this over to Derpy. Derpy, I want to know from you who's going to win this NFC West game between the Seattle Seahawks and the LA Rams. It's in LA. Who do you like, Derpy? The Seahawks or the Rams?
Ooh. Give me the Seahawks.
All right. Mr. Mike.
Yeah, Seahawks. That Rams team, stick a fork in them. They are done.
All right, we've got 3 games left, guys. We have the Sunday night game, we have the Monday night game, and of course the Steeler game, which is going to decide the tiebreaker as well. Guys, let's go to Sunday night. The Vikings at Broncos. The Vikings at Broncos. Again, their last 3 games they won. 4 of 6 since the loss to Miami earlier in the season. Minnesota, Dobbs. There is a lot to talk about these 2 bad teams, in my opinion. But who ultimately is going to win this football game? Mike, let's start with you. The Vikings at the Broncos.
Wow. I mean, tough one. I'm going to take Denver at home. How long can that Josh Dobbs hype train keep going in Minnesota? How long can that keep going? You see this in sports where, like, journeyman pitcher will pitch light out for a while, or backup goalie will play lights out for a while. Then they kind of come back down to reality. I don't think it's going to happen just yet, but I think Denver, they got a little thing going. They're wanting to prove, all the haters wrong. It's like them against the world out there in Denver. I think Denver ekes this one out in a close one.
All right, Derpy, same question for you, sir. Do you think the Minnesota Vikings, Josh Dobbs, is going to go to Denver and get the win? Or do you think the Russell Wilson and company pulls off the win at home? Vikings at
Broncos
Denver.
country, let's ride.
All right. Monday night, guys, maybe the biggest game of the week, just in general. The Eagles at the Chiefs. 8-1, 7-2, rematch of the Super Bowl. The 2 best teams in the league, 1-1 for both conferences at Arrowhead Stadium. Derpy, you have the unfortunate task of being the first person that takes a shot at this pick. Who do you think is going to win this game? Eagles at the Chiefs.
Give me the Eagles.
All right. Mike, same thing for you. Who do you think is going to win this? This could be. It's been the Super Bowl. I guess it could be the Super Bowl again. Mike, Eagles at Chiefs.
Yeah. Put me down for the Eagles too. I think right now, they're just the overall better team. They have more weapons on offense. That Chiefs defense, like I said, they're underrated, but they really don't. They don't have a number 1 wide receiver. And I don't think they even have like a collection of number 2 receivers.
Can you believe?
But they're still finding ways to win, though. They're still finding ways to win. But I think the Eagles win this one in another close game.
Are you prepared, Mike? Let me ask you this: with what you just said, are you prepared for either the Steelers or the Browns to have the same record as the Kansas City Chiefs at the end of this weekend? If in fact that happens,
I am not prepared
because
I think the Steelers and Browns would both lose to Kansas City.
Because here it is. This is listen. If the Chiefs lose this weekend,
they
will have the same record as either the Steelers or the Browns, depending on who wins. Be prepared, Mike, for all the BS that's going to come next week if this in fact happens.
Like, I kind of hope they lose and the Steelers lose, just to see people try to compare the Browns to the Chiefs.
Yeah, you're right. Because as ridiculous as it would be to compare the Steelers with, the season they had, how much more crazy would it be just because the Browns are what they are? They're the Browns.
Like Mahomes still finds a way to win, but they're losing talent on that team. That's what happens in the salary cap era. But man, they still find a way to win.
I agree. It's going to be good, man.
But I don't think in this one. Though.
These 3 games this weekend are in my opinion, 3 of the biggest of the season. Browns, Ravens tonight, Steelers, Browns on Sunday, and then that game as well on Monday. But we still have to get this one game left in, guys. The Steelers at the Browns, 1:00 Sunday in Cleveland. We're going to get your prediction. We're going to get your score. We're going to start with you on this one, Mike. Steelers at Browns. I need a winner and I need a score.
I am taking, to no one's shock and surprise, I'm gonna take the Cleveland Browns.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a 12-10 final.
The true Brown fan finally comes out of the closet. Derpy also has Brown
Oh yeah,
fans.
yeah, with noted Browns lover
Derpy has
James
Browns
Harrison.
fans that actually breathe the same air as him from a day-to-day basis. Derpy, I want to know from you, my friend, who do you think is going to win this game, and what do you think the final score is going to be?
Give me Pittsburgh
All right.
and 26 19.
Ooh.
All right. So Derpy has a 45 point tiebreaker. Mike, you have a 22-point tiebreaker with a 12-10 game. There you have it. Everybody is etched in stone, guys. We're all set for this week. Derpy again is trying to keep the streak going. Mike's trying to get back in the win column. Mike, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the website?
The 2dumyinzers.com, the number 2 DUMYINZERS.com. We're there, man. We got links for our Facebook, our Ryan's Twitter, my Twitter, links to the Spotify that Ryan will talk about here in a moment. Merch store on there. The blog is all on there. And yeah, the 2dumyinzers.com.
All right, guys. Yeah, go check it out, everybody. www.the2dumyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumyinzers.com. I got a few things I wanted to talk about real quick. First, let me give props out to the guys over at Hey Peanuts. They always give us always give us good
I love it.
good plugs over there on their show. They do their show is on Wednesday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And that's on WBVP Beaver County Radio, 1230 on the AM dial, 93.3 on the FM dial. Go check out the guys, Brian and Scott, talk about sports. Good stuff, guys. Check them out. Also, Mike, I'm going to give you the games. I'm going to give the games where referee Adrian Hill and referee Bill Vinovich are going to be reffing this game. Oh, tonight. Tonight, the Bengals at Ravens. Adrian Hill, one of the two referees of interest, and with the the NFL being rigged talk a lot lately. People were talking about this, and I brought up on the show the other day from a video that I saw, and have been following this for a couple weeks now. Tonight, Bengals at Ravens. Adrian Hill. The other one, guys, Bill Vinovich. He will be refereeing the Raiders at the Dolphins on Sunday.
So look for the Bengals and the Dolphins, or Bengals and the Raiders to win.
Yes. So according to what this gentleman had said in his video, Adrian Hill, Bill Vinovich, again last week, it came through. It held water. It did what they guys said it was going to do. The Bills lose on Monday night, of course, and the Vikings, they win in their game. Those were the two teams that were used because these two guys were refereeing. So Adrian Hill again, Bengals at Ravens tonight, and the Dolphins hosting the Raiders on Sunday. So as Mike said, if the theory is true, if we're gonna continue to follow this or not, the Raiders would need to win. And who, Mike? The Bengals. The Bengals would need to win. So that's interesting. It's interesting shit. Keep an eye on that, guys. Adrian Hill, Bill Vinovich. I still haven't seen that guy yet. The guy that leaked the guy, he's dead. He's got to be dead.
Oh my god, I'm stuttering like full. Goodell got to him.
Yeah. What else? What else we got here? We got tomorrow. We have the over-unders for the big game on Sunday. Again, Penguins back at it tonight. Pitt back at it tonight. Steelers, Browns. Mike, what do you got going into the getting ready to take off here pretty soon? Anything on your mind? Anything weighing on your mind?
No, but a quick story from work?
Sure.
Man, like one of the a box, we noticed it was leaking. So I go and I grab it.
A box was leaking.
A box was leaking.
Okay.
I'm going to take it to work. We have to take it to open up, see what's going on. And I see that it's wet. Nothing's dripping out of it. So the guy hands it to me. I take 4 steps and it just starts pouring pouring out of the box all over me. It was scotch. Not just any scotch, cheap $24 a bottle scotch. And that's what I smelled like for the next 6.5 hours today. At work, everyone's looking at me like I'm some drunkard. It soaked through my work shirt and through my undershirt. I had to wear a hoodie all day. I was just walking around sweating, and I smelled like cheap scotch. I had to drive home with this shirt in my car, hoping I don't get pulled over.
Oh, that'd be great.
That was just like a great way to start. And this all happened at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Like cracking into somebody's shit collection they were sending to somebody, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Smelling scotch wouldn't be the worst thing in the
Oh, it
world.
was just like, I don't like scotch anymore. So it's like one of those, then I'm covering for someone. I'm just like walking. I'm like covering their area for them so they can do something else. And I am just like getting drunk, high off the fumes. People are like, "Oh, you're partying down there." It's like, fuck all you guys. It was rough. It was like a rough 45 minutes so I could change my shirt.
All right, there you have it, everybody. You guys ready to jump into some Browns trivia?
Yeah.
All right. This is this Cleveland Browns question because the Cleveland Browns are who we play this week. Here we go.
What? What do you say this time?
Just Steeler Freaks last call, man. From my experience, what does he say, Mike?
From my experience, a wet leaky box never turns out well.
A wet leaky box never turns out well.
Christ.
So here we go, guys. Question of the day. You can play along on the board. Cleveland Browns. Let's see who the Steelers play. Which Brown holds the team record for career interceptions? Which Brown holds the record for career interceptions? Here's your choices. I want you to think them over. Is it A, Tom Darden? Is it B, Warren Lair? Is it C, Tashawn Gibson? Or is it D, Joe Hayden? I'm looking for the Browns' all-time interception career guy, Tom Darden, Warren Lair, Tashawn Gibson, Joe Hayden. Think that over, guys. Get right back with you. We are live, everybody, 5 days a week from Monday to Friday, right here, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Or you could also check out the show every day. This live show that we do gets uploaded over on Spotify and podcast form at 8 o'clock p.m. If you would rather listen to the show, you can do that over on Spotify. All right, here we go, guys. Question of the day. Which Brown holds the team record for career interceptions? Was it A, Tom Darden? Was it B, Warren Lahr, L-A-H-R? C, Tashawn Gibson? Or D, Joe Hayden? We're going to start with you, Stinky. Mike, who do you think is the all-time career interception leader for the Cleveland Browns?
Yeah, I'm going with Joe Hayden.
Joe Hayden. All right. Is this your final answer?
Yep.
All right. Stinky took Joe Hayden. Derpy, over to you. Which Brown holds the team record for career interceptions? Was it Tom Darden? Was it Warren Lahr, L-A-H-R? Was it Tashawn Gibson? Or was it D, Joe Hayden, who Mike selected?
Joe Hayden.
Joe Hayden. Is that your final answer?
That's the only name I recognize.
All right. So there you have it, guys. Question of the day is this. Which Brown holds the team record for career INTs? Your choices were Tom Darden, Warren Lahr, Tashard Gibson, and Joe Hayden. Both of the gentlemen on the panel says Gibson, or I'm sorry, says Joe Hayden, but Steeler Freak on the board says Gibson. So let's see what it is. The final answer, guys, the correct answer is A, Tom Darden.
Ooh.
Tom Darden is the Brown that holds the team record for career INTs. So there you go. More useless information about a useless team.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really.
Derpy, Mike, Stinky told us his story. What do you got before we get ready to take off?
Um, is it Sunday yet?
You know, I couldn't
This
agree
game is
more.
important. It could
It
determine the
is.
rest of the season.
It's a big weekend for the AFC North, especially. This is a big weekend, and then you throw in this little nugget of Kansas City having a chance to lose, and
Mm-hmm.
so very very big weekend, guys. Again, you want to follow the trail on these referees, follow them, guys. That's going to be tonight's game, and whatever I said, the other one. What was the other game, Mike?
The Raiders and Dolphins.
Raiders and Dolphins.
Yeah.
So if you want to follow these guys, again, that's Adrian Hill tonight with the Bengals at the Ravens, and then also Bill Vinovich at the Raiders at the Dolphins. Write it down, remember it, keep an eye on it, and if it, like I said, if it holds water, we'll continue to talk about it. We want to thank everybody for checking us out. As always, we appreciate each and every one of you.
Yes, we do.
Guys, for speaker, forever hold your peace.
Ryan, you were saying like the big three games, the only ones that matter this week that look like good games.
Mhm.
Watch them all turn out to be stinkers. I just have that feeling they're
This
all
will be
going to
the
be
weekend that we see
duds.
the blowouts that we've been talking
You're
about.
going to see like Chicago and the Lions put up like a combined 70 points. It's going to be a
watch the referees just let the guys play this weekend.
yeah,
The
it's
whole
going to be a
weekend
wild weekend.
yeah.
The only three tight games would be the ones that we said would be all sloppy games.
All right. Derp, anything else, man?
Always appreciate the little things in life because it could be worse. You could be a Browns fan.
You know what?
True.
There's no time better than that advice. I couldn't agree with you more. For us here at the Two Dum Yinzers, everybody, Derpy, Mike, myself, have a great day, and we'll be back tomorrow. Take care.